There's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? First and foremost, I would like to call Yah Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash, the ones to the apostles and elders, great millstone of will. Peace, blessings, salutations to the whole flag, to all you brothers out there pushing the word in truth and sincerity. Shalom, tell you brothers, stay strong, pushing this quick lesson. And this is regarding this article I came across, which goes into NATO, and that's why I brought that particular scripture speaking about the beast. Because when you read the book of Revelation and it speaks about the beast, the beast with 7 heads, 10 horns, and the woman with scarlet color which sat upon the beast, that's talking about NATO, that's talking about the EU, and that's talking about America. So the beast is interchangeable with those three particular powers, right? America, NATO, and the EU. But right here in this case, NATO is steady being aggressive towards Russia. And this has been going on for a couple years back now, how America, NATO, the EU, they've been trying to bully Russia, and they've been, pushing up to the borders. So Russia has been on the defense, and the beast, which is NATO and America and the EU, are being the, they're on the attack. Okay, so this proves that, like I read in the scripture, man, we might talk about Russia, Russia, because Russia is a superpower, right? Don't get it twisted. Russia is a nuclear capable country. Russia is a powerhouse, but don't get it twisted, man. When it comes to America, NATO, the beast system, right? Russia can't fuck with the beast, man, because the beast has more weapons, has the better weapons, and is more powerful. Why? Because that's a prophecy. Okay, because right here it says, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. So the reason why Russia is on the defense is because Russia will be crazy to try to attack the beast, to try to make a move on NATO or America. Now, if America attacks, now of course Russia will retaliate, because the Most High is going to put the spirit on Russia to shoot back, to fight back. So right now, who is able to make war with him exactly? Who's able, at one point, I'll give you an example. When that whole Ukrainian revolution happened, right? Maybe about 3 years ago, NATO and America, they tried to put a Ukrainian puppet leader up in there, and that whole Ukrainian region, which is right next to Russia, I believe, started becoming a part of the Western society, so to speak, part of making deals with America, making deals with NATO, and they're moving away from making deals with Russia, working with Russia. So then what happened is they tried to move up into Crimea, but Russia was like, fuck that, so they sent troops into Crimea, and eventually they held it, they held it down, and they pushed the opposition away, and the opposition that the Russians were fighting in Crimea, those were Western backed militants, meaning these were people that were being paid by America, by the NATO, by the beast to attack, because that whole the Ukrainian and Crimea region, that's a key part of the world right there. But Russia was able to hold it down, because they were defending themselves. But of course, the mainstream media, they're going to blame it on Russia. They're going to demonize Russia, that Russia's the bad guy, Russia's the boogeyman. No, you devils are the boogeyman. You devils are the ones that claim war and destroying people's homes, people's countries, bombing the hell out of them, and doing it to this very day. You have wars that Esau has started over decades that are still going on to this very day, man. Because this man, he's a bloody man. Esau is a man of war. That's all he knows how to do, which goes back to his blessing the sword. Okay, so going back to the article, it says, increased NATO activity near Russian borders may one day lead to a serious incident, top Moscow defense official says. Oh, and there you go, top Moscow defense. So, like I said earlier, Russia is in the defense, right? And NATO, the beast, they're on the offense. So they're being the aggressors, man. Don't believe these devils that tell you, oh, Russia's being aggressive, Russia's is attacking this, they're killing that, they're destroying this country. No, you the beast is. Okay, it says Moscow has warned that increasing Western military activity near Russian borders may ultimately have dangerous consequences. This year has seen more NATO vessels and planes coming close to the country's territory, so they're steady pushing up in there. So trust and believe, man. Eventually, there's something's gonna happen to where shit is gonna go down. Shit is gonna go haywire, and people or these countries are gonna have to. They're gonna have to shoot their missiles, man. They're gonna have to let them fly. And you know what comes with that, man. That comes with, the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, which is part of prophecy. Okay. So speaking on the destruction of America, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 3. A sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is set among you, and who may quench it? Exactly. So the fire that is going to be set among you is them ICBM missiles, and you're also simultaneously you're going to have them so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of Israel. Okay, the angels and Yahweh Shai, of course, they're going to be getting down with the missiles, burning this bitch up, and other parts of the world too. And who may quench it? Exactly. Who's going to be able to quench it, man? You have these wildfires out here in California, man. These firefighters can barely quench, these fires that are going on out here on the West Coast. They can barely manage to shut them off. So you mean to tell me that, let's say the firefighters of the whole world unite, let's fly over America and let's try to quench the nuclear, destruction of America. No, that ain't gonna be able to happen, man. The fire is gonna be the heat is gonna be so intense. The fire is gonna be so much that they're just gonna have to let that bitch burn. So nobody's gonna be able to quench it. Like I said, firefighters can barely manage a fire out here on the West Coast. Verse 5, plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? Exactly. So, like an archer, when he shoots an arrow, that arrow's never coming back. Once you pull that trigger, that arrow is going to hit the intended target and it's going to do damage. Let's say you're hunting for a deer or whatever. You shoot that arrow, you hit the deer in the heart, the deer's going to die. So that's the same thing with these missiles. Once these missiles are shot, there ain't no coming back. There ain't no returning. The missiles ain't going to turn back and go back into the silo. Absolutely not. Once they're shot out of that silo, that's it. Game over. As a matter of fact, there's a book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 9. And it says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. Now this is talking about Russia. You could also put China up in there. Okay. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. And this Babylon that is talking about America. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. And the arrows represent the ICBM missiles. None shall return in vain. Exactly. So once these missiles are shot, once these arrows are shot, none shall return in vain. Okay, they're gonna do their job. They're gonna do the work that they were built to do, which is to destroy. Which these weapons, these modern day arrows, which are these ICBM missiles, these are really weapons of the Lord's indignation. Okay, the Most High was the one that gave Esau the technology on how to build these missiles. Okay, and so they can do the Lord's work. The missiles are a part of the Lord's army as well. Okay, just like the angels are, just like the men, just like these different militaries. These are all part of the Lord's army. Okay, so going back to 2nd Ezra 16, verse 7, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. Exactly. So, what precept should come in mind? It's remember the earth quaketh when the earth shall reel to and fro. So what is that? Isaiah 24, if I'm not mistaken. Isaiah 24, verse 20. And it says the earth. I'll start at verse 19. The earth is literally broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. So this is after the missiles hit. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Exactly. So the impact of these missiles are going to be so heavy that it's going to shake the earth, side to side. So people are going to feel the, let's say you're out there in China, or you're out there in India or whatever. People out there in India are going to be able to feel the impact of these missiles. That, so much so that the earth is going to shake, man. That's terrifying, man. There's going to be, some big ass earthquakes going down after the missiles hit in certain parts of the world, especially in America. All right, going back to 2nd Ezra 16 verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, the sea riseth up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Exactly. So they're not going to miss. Remember, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom, and he will destroy from off the face of the earth. So when the Most High has a target intended to be destroyed, guess what? It's going to be destroyed. Okay, these missiles ain't going to be shot, and they're going to miss America. They're going to go over into the Pacific coast. No, they're going to be hitting from the west coast to the east coast, from the Midwest to the south. The whole of America is going to be destroyed. Okay, over 200 million missiles are going to be shot here in America, like in the book of Revelation says. So it says, for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of the mighty archer, returning not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Exactly. Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars. So we're coming into this World War III, man. You see what NATO, which is a beast. You see what they're doing. You see the aggressiveness, the aggressiveness that they're coming in now. America too, the EU. It says, the beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils come? So, we're coming into this World War III, which is the war to end all wars, man. Okay, but anyways, with that, I'm going to call out Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Mekak Madash. Till next time, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.